Hello folks and fans. Welcome to another edition of Now We're Piping with Dr. Rockwood. First of all, happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm smoking some Peterson's Irish Flake out of this Peterson's Deluxe 5S pipe. And of course, drinking Guinness. I have a bit of work to do. I gotta shine these boots up. But I hope you won't mind if I take this opportunity to do a VR to Ed, the Armchair Piper. For those of you who are interested, I somewhat reviewed Irish Flake in one of my earlier videos. And it's a fine blend. I like it, but I'm more a fan of University Flake. But I digress. Ed asked for a pipe story. And boy, do I have one for you. So, back in the day, when I still lived with my mother and father, it was late one night, and I decided I wanted to go out and have a bowl of tobacco. Now, we lived in this part of town. It's fairly central to Ottawa here, where I am now. And there's a lot of wildlife in a very central area, you know, because it was quite a green area. It was an Alta Vista, so there were a lot of fox, some coyotes, a lot of hares and cottontails. Maybe not hares, a lot of cottontail rabbits. And with all that came the skunks. So it was around midnight, I don't know, maybe 12:30, and I was just winding down for the night. I was a student at the time, and I wanted to go out and have a nice bowl. I think at the time I was just smoking drum out of an old Medico pipe. Drum, for those of you who don't know, is rolling tobacco. But that's all I had on hand, so I figured, hey, why not? So I go outside, and where I used to smoke at my parents' house was behind the garage, right in the backyard. So the back door of the garage opened up onto the backyard, and the light atop that, back door to the garage was quite bright. So at night, I sort of got into the habit of setting out some candles on the ledge of the window, just on the outside, and using, a couple of candles as my light, because I didn't want to wake up the neighbors whose bedroom looked right into our backyard. So there I was. I light up. I get the charring light. I get the true light. And I start puffing away. And I'm there for maybe 20 minutes when I hear some noise in the backyard. Not uncommon. Could be, a cat, could have been anything. So I didn't really pay attention to it much. But out of the corner of my eye, I see some white stripes on a tiny little thing moving closer and closer to me. And then I realized that it was a skunk. Now, my first reaction, rather than to stay calm and collected and just take everything I needed to take inside and call it a night, was to think that the skunk was a foot away from me when it was probably maybe like 20, 30 feet away from me. And I know you're still sometimes in the danger zone at that distance, but I freaked out. So I went like, and then I threw the pipe and I ran right inside the garage. Now there's a little window next to the back door there, so I was watching this skunk do its thing. It was just kind of digging for grubs. This was in the summertime. And I'm thinking, okay, it'll only be a couple minutes, it'll pass. I'll be able to go get my pipe, which is lying in the grass. Half the tobacco is spilled out. And I'll be able to blow out the candles and, call it a night. But no, this skunk spent just shy of 2 hours going back and forth in the grass right in front of the door. So I'm sitting there looking out this window with the candles going on the outside of the window on the outside ledge. My pipe has now been trampled over by this skunk many, many times because it's gone out and it went to inspect it. And by then it's like 2:30 in the morning and I'm still outside and I'm thinking, I can't go inside with the candles lit. That's a huge fire hazard. Like it wasn't to begin with, right? But anyway, I hear the door of the garage open and it's my mom. And she goes, "Hey, are you out here?" I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Careful. There's a skunk outside." Oh, thank you. Yeah, I know. I've been held hostage by a skunk in my own backyard. That was probably, I would say one of the scariest moments of my life. It wasn't, but it was certainly the most nerve-wracking because at that point, I didn't even care for the smoke anymore. All I wanted to do was just grab my stuff and go to bed. And it was so late. And I don't know how many people can say that they've been held hostage by a skunk in their own home before, but there you go, I have. And the good news is it didn't turn me off of pipe smoking, so there you go. That's my little story. I do apologize for the audio quality. I'm sitting outside here on the little rooftop terrace here at the Rockwood Towers. The first time this year we had very nice warm weather. So I actually worked outside at this table because we're still working from home. But you can see some snow on the ledge over there behind me. And it's going back down to freezing tonight. So we can't really say that spring is here, but it's pretty much here. Spring in Canada always starts off in the negatives below freezing. So anyway, that's my little story. I hope you enjoyed it. And I guess happy St. Paddy's Day to everyone. Cheers.